what if being a Green Lantern isn't just about having the ring? What if being a cop isn't just about having a gun? You know what I'm saying? What if there's more to it than that?
It's not about can he make a sofa with the ring? Like, that's the most boring part of the show. It's what do you do knowing that you have this power that you could use whenever you want to, but he doesn't. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with Damon Lindelof because I don't like all the red herrings that he puts into shows on purpose to misdirect fans.
Right.
I think that there was a lot of misdirection in this first episode. And I'm like, oh, this is the good misdirection.
And it's just kind of like, wait, hold on. Like there's treachery afoot, you know, like things are not the way they seem. Too many white people on horses with guns. Okay. For me to be riding around, I don't want to go in here. It is not lost on me that Jon Stewart is black. I, as a black person, I think I recognize what they're doing. They're intentionally communicating being black and being in an environment where maybe you're not supposed to be. You have to be twice as good to even be considered. Welcome to Kra-Koom. I am Octavius and Newman, and this is a review for Lanterns Season 1, Episode 1. And with me today to talk about this is Dan Mall. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a great day. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to have a conversation about this episode of Prestige Television, HBO 9
now.
p.m. on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a big deal they're making about this.
This is prime time, baby.
For real. Yeah. So before we get started, if you have not subscribed to the show, please do that. Hit subscribe, click the button, click the bell. Let us know that you want more conversations like this, and we will make sure to keep bringing these conversations to you. So Dan, let's just get right into it. I got a big picture thing that I want us to start with is expectations. You know what I mean? Like the Lanterns, there's trailers out. We got James Gunn, we got Superman. I want to start out talking a little bit about what my expectations were from Lanterns. Mind if I share that with you?
Let's hear it, please.
I saw this trailer and the group chat's going off. Oh man, did you see it? Are you excited? I'm gonna keep it real with you, Dan. I was like, I don't know.
Really?
I don't know. My expectations were kind of like, I don't know what this is going to be. I've heard tale of what it's supposed to be, but I was a little shaky. What were your expectations going into it?
Super high. I tried to keep them low, and I could not keep them low on this. I have a no trailer rule because I'm like, it's a superhero show. I'm going to watch it.
You're going further than
I was
me.
trying to get my family interested in watching it too, get my wife interested in watching it. So I was like, all right, we got to watch a trailer. So I watched a trailer. I'm a huge Kyle Chandler fan. Friday Night Lights is my favorite show of all time. So Kyle Chandler's in it. I'm an Aaron Pierre fan. Like he's in it. It's not called Green Lantern. It's not called Green Lanterns. It's called Lanterns, and it's on HBO, and it's a 9 p.m. show. Like all the things. Damon Lindelof, I'm a big Lost fan.
Absolutely.
Tom King is one of the executive producers. I'm a big Tom King. So it's like all of the boxes are like check, 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 check. I could not keep my expectations low on this at all. So super duper high expectations for me.
Yeah. Yeah. After watching it, this exceeded my expectations, which were kind of shaky. You know what I mean? Like I left this episode and I was like, that's what we're doing. Okay. This is where we're going. And it exceeded my expectations, big picture.
Same for me. I had high expectations and they were exceeded also. So I'm just super excited for the rest of the season now. I hope that the rest of the season holds up. But in terms of the job of a pilot, I understand the job of a pilot to be setting expectations of the show, kind of letting us know what's going on, all the test stuff that they have to do on their side. Can we keep doing these episodes? Can we, introduce the characters, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I hope they can keep it up. But if this is how the rest of the season's going to go, I am super duper excited about it.
Yeah. Some of the stuff that I was thinking going in, and like, I'm hearing her talk about True Detective. I'm hearing they're talking about Training Day. They're talking about a buddy cop. They're talking about it's similar to Fargo. I mean, a lot of stuff that I like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then James Gunn, Green Lantern, Jon Stewart. It's like, how are you going to put all that together? And in watching this, I I was like, oh, it's a mystery. It's like a murder mystery. I didn't see that coming. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
got
even though they
thoughts
kind
on
of
it.
told us, but the tone is what I didn't see coming. You know what I mean?
Do you have like a one sentence take on your thought about the episode?
One sentence take about what I thought about the episode. If I can come off the top of my head right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
a one is who killed Hal Jordan.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's like or that's not what you asked me. Not a take. That's my like synopsis, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
All
so
right.
I'm like, this is way better than I expected it to be. I didn't expect to be this excited about this.
Yeah.
The next,
Same.
I mean,
For me, when I watch shows and movies, I like surprise. So that's why I don't like trailers, is because they ruin the surprise. So
right,
I
right.
like to be surprised by the show. And I think one of the things I liked most about it is the fact that I thought it was one kind of show. And I have kind of a love-hate relationship with Damon Lindelof because I don't like all the red herrings that he puts into shows on purpose
Right.
to misdirect fans. Right.
Did he get
And
you
I think
lost?
that, yeah, I mean, there's so
Discouraged
many
you?
in Lost, and I haven't seen a lot of his other stuff either. So, granted, I haven't seen Leftovers. I haven't seen. I think he did something with Watchmen. I heard he got better at that, at not doing that on purpose, to anger viewers.
Right.
I think that there was a lot of misdirection in this first episode, and I'm like, oh, this is the good misdirection, because I think they set up the whole thing as a buddy love movie, a buddy love show.
Okay.
Right?
Save the
Like
cat
True
references. I
Detective.
understood that reference.
Hey,
Okay.
listen, man, I got my Save the Cat book right
Oh,
here. I've been
you
studying.
ready for it? Okay.
Because I think what they did was they set it up as a buddy love show, and then at the end, because of the ending of the episode, it was like, wait a minute, is this a whodunit, or is this a Whydunit? Like, is that the show that it is? And then it also made me think, well, wait a minute, if this is not a buddy love show because Hal Jordan is dead, so how could it be a buddy love show? Is it a Golden Fleece show? Is this a show about Jon Stewart getting the ring and like finding his, like going on a quest to become the Green Lantern? I did not see that coming at all. I don't know if the show is going to be about that, but to me, it's like they misdirected us the whole time about this show being a buddy, a buddy cop show, and maybe it's not. And so that's super exciting to me.
Yeah, I think that when we talk about what kind of show this is going to be, the fact that we can't put our finger on 100% is part of what makes it exciting, And again, I mean, spoilers at this point. If you're this far in the episode, you already know this is spoilers. I probably should have put that in the beginning. We'll fix it in post, or we won't. I don't know. But yeah, it doesn't tell you 100% what's going on. It brings you in. We get here, and the lanterns already exist. Hal Jordan already exists. Jon Stewart already exists. They're not going, hey, let me show you where the ring comes from. Let me show you. No. It already is in motion. You're in a world where lanterns already are, and the first Green Lantern is old and grizzled, you know what I'm saying? And pissed off and annoyed. And when you see young Jon Stewart in the beginning, it is kind of like, I don't know what's going to be happening here. You know what I'm saying? And by the time we get really introduced to like what I thought, I don't know about you, Dan, what I thought was our current Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, you off top are like, I don't like this guy, Hal. I do not like this dude. This dude is a jerk. Did you feel similar, or was it just me?
I was torn because of my fandom of Kyle Chandler.
Okay.
I liked the actor, and I liked the last character that I saw him as, which is Coach Taylor in Friday Night Lights, and even in Bloodline and all the stuff. And so I'm prone to like him, but then as Hal Jordan, then it's like, I mean, he's kind of a jerk. He's
super duper jerk.
It's super duper. And then, but we also get to see the 10 years ago Hal Jordan too in the
right.
Summoning from the Ring, and it's like he's less of a jerk. So something happened in those 10 years to just make him surly, to make him kind of the rough exterior that he has now. So
Yeah.
I wonder if that's going to be part of the show too, is just seeing what happened in that time frame. But maybe not. Maybe not if it's a Jon Stewart story. And I think
Right.
that, like, I didn't see it as a Jon Stewart story, even though now in hindsight, now that I've seen the full episode, now I can go back and I go, yeah, they started this episode with we saw him as a kid, like we saw the origin story,
Right.
and I just didn't pick up on the fact that it was because the trailer, at least, and all the hype was that it was a Hal Jordan story. It seemed like.
Well, I am going to reserve some of my predictions because I've got some thoughts about where I think this is going, but I want to go to a specific part
Okay.
because I got some questions that
you
I'm
got?
trying to, like, in my own brain tweeze apart. When we first meet Jon Stewart, he's showing this fearlessness. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm watching TV. I don't care who comes in the front door. And me, I'm connected. Like, you better turn that television off. You don't hear your siblings. Like, that's
Yes.
serious business.
Yes.
And I don't recognize at the time. I think they're kind of seeding some things for us. When you see him watching Hal Jordan, you think he's going to get in trouble. Dad comes in. Okay, you're showing me something. Dad is military. And then they go outside, they put the apple on top of his head, shoot at the gun at this whole moment here, I'm going, the Stewart household is wild. Okay. I don't know what's going on in the Stewart household, but it seemed like there's a little bit of character development that's happening at this point. They're telling us something about not only Jon Stewart, but Mr. Stewart, like Jon Stewart's dad. It seemed like that was routine. That's normal. Are you afraid? No, sir. It's like, wait, hold on. I watched enough stories. I've read enough books. There's something going on here. There's a reason this is happening. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, and I don't get it. I don't get what that scene was. Because to me, I'm like that was a wild scene. Dad,
Yes.
So it just seemed regular that Dad would shoot an apple off your head whenever you get out of line. Like that, I don't have anything to connect that to, because my dad didn't shoot an apple off of my head. When I got out of line. I got to slip it in the butt.
Hopefully, nobody watching or listening's dad or any kind of parent shot any apples off your head.
And not only that was just how Dad was, but that was expected in the family and good in the family, because it was like, all right, you passed the test like you normally do, it seemed like, and then let's go get a burger.
Like,
wait a minute,
what's happening?
What is happening here? And then and so we do get the establishment that they are, Dad and son are tight. We see it later on, when he's an adult, he calls Dad, after the car scene. Like, all right, we get the fact that they have a relationship, but that scene, I don't know what to make of that scene. I don't know what to make of Dad just comes home and, if you watch TV, you're getting a gun fired at you. I don't know.
So a couple clues, Detective Newman here. Detective Newman, all right? A couple clues that tell me what I think is a little something. So are you at least going to tell me his name? Hal something. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Okay, so I'm pulling out my, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on here? Did you know he was like, you know what I mean? Like, it seemed like he shouldn't have been doing that, but did you find out his name? And then we jump forward. I think that was 2006. I don't know. 2016.
1996.
1996. Okay,
Yeah.
1996. 2016, Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan, they had their whole situation. What kind of mentor is Hal Jordan, by the way? Hey, I'm going to drive this car off the side of a building. Figure it out. I mean, the side of a cliff. Figure it out. It's like, what's going on? I mean, like that situation in itself. But it seemed like, is that not similar to having an apple shot off your head? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that like a similar kind of wild kind of training scenario? And he calls up Dad. He's like, yo, Dad, this guy is wild and this guy's tripping. And I wrote down a quote. I like to write down quotes. This is my new thing for watching TV. Write down some quotes. Dad says, where is it? Oh, I don't know if I wrote that down, but here's the big picture. Dad's like, just push forward, and this job is yours.
Yes.
So I'm like, I'm building a theory. I don't know if I'm right. in Dad saying, just push forward and this job is yours, does Dad know about, like, is Dad been kind of training and preparing him to be the Green Lantern? If you go backwards to the past and then the 2020, you get what I'm saying? What do you think?
It definitely seems like Dad knows something, right?
Yes.
Dad knows something when he comes home. Dad knows that he's been watching something, specifically what he's been watching, not just he's watching TV, but specifically what he's been watching. And then now Dad knows something about, like, well, if you do this, the job is going to be. What does Dad know about this job? And I think that's the thing that I lost my train of thought.
That's the thing. I think that's the thing about what Dad doesn't know. That is the seed for right now that I'm hoping will be paid off later. Do you get what I'm saying?
How much did have you read many Green Lantern books? Like do you know much of the mythology?
I've read minimal. Like, okay, I don't know Green Lantern the way I know Batman. You know what I mean?
Same here. Yep. So what I have picked up in the, like, let me cram before the test, before the show comes out, like, let me read it as much as I can, is that John Stewart is the only Green Lantern that was chosen by the by the Guardians.
Right.
Everybody else was chosen by the Ring.
Right.
So I wonder if that's somehow tied into this too, is because he was chosen by the Guardians, is somehow Dad in cahoots with the Guardians, that he knows something? Because it's different if the Ring chooses you, like Hal was chosen.
Yeah.
But if the Guardians choose you, I wonder if that means they prep Dad to prep Son for this job at some point.
Right. Yeah. And another thing that is happening is they keep saying there's only one Green Lantern. There's only one Green Lantern on Earth. There's only one Green Lantern. Now, spoilers, we know about that Guy Gardner's on Earth.
Yeah, seriously.
So what's that about? Also, you're training your replacement, or you're in training. You're kind of like so some stuff's not lining up here. You're telling me there's only one Green Lantern in this sector. There isn't. You're telling me that, like, there's only one ring, but the ring only chooses. But no, like, the bosses chose. Like, I like it though, Dan. Like, they're leaving stuff out in a way that makes me go, oh, okay, all right. You're leaving me breadcrumbs. You're giving me things to kind of start to figure out, and it makes me excited to keep watching. You're not giving me all of it. You know what I'm saying? But you're giving me enough.
I'm gonna read to you from Save the Cat.
Okay. All right.
I will do a reading here.
I like it.
In the Whydunit, right? The description of what a Whydunit is. It says, we in the audience are the detectives. Ultimately, while we have a surrogate or surrogates on screen doing the work for us, it is we who must ultimately sift through the information, and we who must be shocked by what we find. So that's why, to me, it's like, maybe this is a Golden Fleece story, but I think it's so far it's leaning toward we are the detectives. It's a Whydunit. And I think that I never realized that about detective shows. I always thought, well, they're the detectives, right? And they're the ones who are trying to find out who done it or why done it. But I never realized that a good Whydunit makes us, the viewers, maybe one or a few steps behind what's going on, so that we have to piece all the clues together. And, and part of this too is the story. A good Whydunit is not about the hero changing. It's about the audience discovering something about human nature that they did not think was possible before the crime was committed and the case began. So I'm like, okay, what are we going to discover about human nature through this story of John and Hal and whoever else, ends up coming into the story? We know Guy Gardner from the trailer is going to be in this at some point. We know Sinestro is going to be in here at some point. But what are we going to discover about human nature through the course of this? Which is a fascinating concept. Yeah.
Well, we're already discovering some things about our characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're discovering a little bit about how Hal Jordan is in 2016 versus how Hal Jordan was in the past.
Yep.
So when we have that hologram, which I thought was a funny little moment right there. When we have that scenario where John's got the ring and Hal shows up and he starts to kind of say, like, hey, what's going on here? Like, do you know what the scenario, you know what I mean? We start to recognize another breadcrumb. The Hal that we see right now has changed. What changed him?
Yeah.
Why is he like this now? And I think the thing that comes to my mind is like a guy who's like, man, I've seen some shit. Like one of those kind of guys. It's like, you don't know what I've been through. I've been in it, like, so it's already giving a little bit of contrast between, hey, I backed up my consciousness. I was supposed to do it every week, but why does this guy not back it up at all for years? You know what I'm saying? And why does this version of Hal from the past have a message for the current version of Hal? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on there? I'm okay with not knowing it all, but it is building out this character and making me care about him in a way that I didn't see coming off top.
Yes.
I thought I was just not going to like him.
You thought you were not going to like Hal?
I mean, from the beginning, I'm like, if you call him Junior one more time, I'll tell you, you got one more Junior in you, okay? I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Well, that's a power move, right? That's mentor power move. It's like you got to keep him small, especially because we don't know Hal's motivations right now. I think we know a little bit from the trailer, in that he sees John not as his backup but as his replacement. So at some point, and he straight up says it in the episode, like, I don't intend to die anytime soon, and the only time you replace me is if I die.
Right.
So
foreshadowing.
What am I even training you for?
Right.
For maybe one day distant in the future, but not for today.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I think that we're meant to think that that's part of the reason why he is acting the way he is. It's like, man, I'm not ready to go. You're not replacing me. The ring didn't choose you. I mean, the bosses chose you. Like, you don't know nothing about this. Let me explain. Let me show you. But at the same time, I think there is a real part of it that Hal is like, but you're not ready though. And the show does a good job of showing you when they do arrive at Nebraska, when they do arrive to the crime scene, and Hal is sitting up in the stands just watching. Again, foreshadowing, like sitting in that place on that bench, and John comes up and it's kind of like, I mean, what's this guy kind of sitting here for? And I think that position, making my predictions, that position on that bench, there's a reason. There's a reason why he's sitting right there, because that's the same place he's sitting at the end of the episode, know?
Yep.
Observing, watching, like surveying and taking it all in. And you see in that moment the difference between how Hal deals with the situation and John. John is like, oh, I see the problem. I see the bad guy right there. I'm going to go address it. And Hal's like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do that if you want to,
Good rookie move. Right. And he does get called out for it too. And I like that they established that is like, while the Junior stuff and the son stuff is pretty annoying, it's like, I mean, it's partly accurate too, because look at him messing up this crime scene here.
Right.
And he ultimately figures it out, ultimately, catches the guy and punches him in the face. But he's not able to be a Green Lantern. And I like that Hal called it out too. I like that we get some narration from the show, from the characters in the show itself. It's like, is that what you do if you had the ring right now?
Right.
Is that what you would do? And he's like, yeah. And it's like, okay, rookie. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah. And it also shows that being a Green Lantern in that moment, I think I'm having an epiphany right now. Is John in this aspect kind of like our audience proxy? You know what I'm saying? Is John kind of the character of like, man, Hal, you're treating John negatively. You're putting him down. And at least as I'm reflecting, if I'm thinking back and being honest, I was kind of identifying with John. Like, man, let him do it. Why are you sitting there? And then the message, the story says to you, hey, John / audience, is that what you would do if you had the ring right now? What if being a Green Lantern isn't just about having the ring? What if being a cop isn't just about having a gun? You know what I'm saying? What if there's more to it than that? Because we see as much as Hal is kind of unlikable, seems to be pretty good at what he's doing. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I'm looking at it.
That brings up a thought that I had throughout the whole episode. Can I tell you my one-liner for the show?
I'm excited. Yeah.
I'll hedge. I'll put a disclaimer to say we're one episode in. Right? There's 7 episodes left. So who knows if this will persist. But my thought while watching the first episode related to what you just brought up is, I think it's the Superman story I've always wanted.
Go on, please tell me more.
because they make you earn a lot of stuff that we never earned in Superman movies. And we didn't do a Superman episode. I didn't get a chance to do a Superman episode with you, so I'm gonna insert some of that stuff here. I'll try to keep it Lanterns focused, but we don't see a lot of ring usage.
True.
We have to earn that.
Yeah,
we have to earn this. Like when the car goes over the cliff, we find out later that John made bubble wrap. We never see him make bubble wrap.
Right.
We don't see the power of the ring. We see it in like small glimpses. We see it in, here's a bottle opener, here's a counterfeit $20 bill, and we get the like, oh, these things are very detailed things that Hal is making. And clearly we know cognitively that John is doing this.
Right.
Contrast that to what we see of Superman, and we get powers in the first second, right? He's like, he smashes down in the ice, and then he super whistles for his dog. It's like, well, we don't. So I think the show's making us earn a lot of stuff. And I think that that's what the MCU was also really good at doing, is like, we earned Thanos. We didn't see Thanos in the beginning. It took us movies to get to Thanos. And then we see a glimpse of him here and a glimpse of him there. And then we get to Infinity War. I think that Lanterns is so far successfully making us earn these moments where, and I think that what's cool about it, and this is why I say the Superman thing, is I think they use powers as a MacGuffin. It, like, we want to see that. We know it's there. It drives the story along. We're watching for it. But the show isn't about power, and this is what you just said that reminded me of this. Yeah. It's not about can he make a sofa with the ring? Like, that's the most boring part of the show. Right. It's what do you do knowing that you have this power that you could use whenever you want to, but he doesn't. We see Hal mostly sitting around and watching stuff. Yeah, he flies off, where he needs to, but we see him just mostly acting like an old curmudgeonly human more than we do a Green Lantern. And so I think that's interesting about the show is they're making us earn a lot of these beats, so that I think when he finally does use the ring in a powerful way, we're going to be like, yes, we're going to, because we waited for that moment or those moments. Right. And I think that's what I want from Superman. They're giving it to us in Green Lantern instead.
So when you say that's what you want from Superman, what is it? You want more character development? You want the power usage earned, which help me get me where you at.
The powers are the least interesting part of Superman. And I think that all the movies, the shows and all that stuff over-index on his powers, how fast he can fly, how hard he can punch, how long he can jump, like all that kind of stuff, which is cool. And that's definitely part of what we want to see with Superman. But I think maybe because we have a show instead of a movie, we could get a slow burn of powers. I mean, what is cool about Green Lantern for sure is he is a cosmic force in this universe, and he can make amazing things with the ring. But they didn't have to give it away in the first episode, and they didn't. We barely saw him use the ring. We know it's powerful. We hear about it. We hear stories about, he saved a meteor in the opening scene. We didn't see him save the meteor. We didn't need to. We just know, all right, he's powerful. We can take that for granted. That's part of the suspension of disbelief in the show. But I think they're making us earn it. So what I want to see from Superman is like, what are the interesting things about him? How does he conquer those things despite being one of the most powerful people in the universe? He still has challenges and he still has trials. And I think we see that in Hal because they make him arrogant and he's kind of a firecracker, as he is in the comic books too. And so he has these natural flaws. And I think that the stories that are about the flaws are really interesting. And that's why Superman, I think, is such a hard character to write, is because he doesn't really have a lot of flaws. He's sort of the perfect being, super strong, super fast, really good at all the things. Noble, truth, justice, the American way. He doesn't really have flaws. And so the last movie had to make humanity his flaw. I have feelings was his flaw in the movie, which is kind of weak compared to what they're doing, I think, with the way that they're writing Hal. And I think, Hal is arguably just as powerful as Superman with the Green Lantern ring. So I think the way that they're writing him is very different than how we've seen the writing of Superman. I think the only thing that we've seen of Superman where we get more of the character development is the show Superman and Lois, which I think is because they make him taller, and they have more time. Yeah. So anyway, back to the Lantern stuff. I love the way that they're writing Hal, because I think we get to see a very powerful but flawed character, and we get to see him maybe from John's eyes. Maybe he is our proxy and we get to see him in that way.
Yeah. And we get to start asking questions about, at least a question I was asking is like, if he's this way, why did the ring choose him? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it about him? And I think we keep seeing that. It's like, are you afraid? Fearless. You know what I'm saying? It's like, there's only one question. Are you afraid? I don't know why I just did a mixture of like Batman and Wolverine just now. But I was doing my old grizzled beat cop guy. But yeah. So I want to ask you or talk to you about what I think maybe at least this episode is starting to bring up, like some of the deeper questions. And one of the ways that really started making me squint my eyes at that is the Macon family, the guys who had the compound. You know what I'm saying? When Hal gets like into that fight, which is hilarious because he's going, hey man, I'm trying to respect the law and respect the system and all that kind of stuff and get put in jail and all that kind of thing. We get a great way to introduce more characters. We've got like the sheriff, the cop, you know what I'm saying? I forget her name. But then we find out when the lawyer shows up to defend Hal, which again, funny moment, like, with all due respect, Your Honor, come on. I'm the Green Lantern. What are you talking about? What do you mean, come on? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's happening here? Yeah. But when the lawyer shows up and the lawyer is the sheriff's wife, and it's just kind of like, wait, hold on. Like there's treachery afoot, like things are not the way they seem. And they go to, okay, now this lawyer's father is this guy who owns this compound. I'm like, oh, so not only is there's this intergalactic thing we're hearing about, they're saying aliens out loud. We're seeing the ring, but also it's establishing the world of this Nebraskan town and establishing the power structure. There is this family that's got all of this money, that's got all of this power, that's got all of this land, horses. There's too many people on horses with guns for me. I'll tell you right now, I'd be ready to leave. And just looking at Jon Stewart, it is not lost on me that Jon Stewart is black. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a real aspect of this. As a black man in an environment like this, and the way that Hal's talking to him, calling him Junior, and the way that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and even just saying that, yes, sir, no, sir, no problem, sir, absolutely. Like I, as a black person, I think I recognize what they're doing. They're intentionally communicating.
Can you say it out loud?
They're intentionally communicating being black and being in an environment where maybe you're not supposed to be. You have to be twice as good just to even get half as much, to even be considered. Hey, son, put up with the BS and this job is yours. That sounds like a conversation my mother's had with me. That sounds like a conversation that family members have with black people. Just get home, do what they ask you to do. Just do what they ask you to do and everything's going to be okay. So like the way he's moving around as a person who's trying to get this job. Look, the bosses chose me. How much better do I need to be than the people above you choosing me? You ain't good enough. So I think, again, that is communicating not only like the obvious message that's right on its face, Green Lantern, but I think there's some subtext about ethnicity, race, being black, and being in a super duper white environment. There's too many white people on horses with guns, okay, for me to be riding around. I don't want to go in here. You know what I mean? That's part of what I was feeling as well.
You think that'll come back later in the show as like a major theme of the season?
His blackness?
Yeah. And specifically his blackness in rural Nebraska where they are.
I hope so. I hope that they acknowledge that aspect of what's going on. Jon Stewart's blackness is not like Jon Stewart is not a dark-skinned Hal Jordan. And I'm sure you understand that reference even from like the, where that comes from.
Sure.
His blackness is a part of what makes Jon Stewart who he is.
Yeah.
So his father being black, his father being in the middle, you know what I mean? Like this is a part of what makes the character what he is. So I hope that they don't just gloss over the fact that like black man walking around in super duper white, community. Like, think about even what the Macon said. One of the things that he said is, how about when he was talking to Hal and kind of like trying to sort out like, well, Hal's like, well, what are you about? Like, who is your boss? Like, how do you fit into all this? Oh, I'm not at liberty to say it because of my NDAs. Let's just say, my notes, how about we both want to protect the planet from anybody not born in it? I know what that sounds like to me. You know what I'm saying? I know what our real world, you know what I mean, Terran perspective in real life, that sounds like to me. Mm-hmm. You know, do you get where I'm coming from?
I totally get where you're coming from. It's curious what they set up, which is so far all in the episode, John hasn't had to navigate it on his own. He's had Hal with him the whole time to navigate all this stuff. Now, all of a sudden, we get to the end of the episode, and now in present day, John has to navigate this conceivably by himself now. He does. Right. We don't know that he's the Green Lantern now. In fact, it seems like he is not yet. Right? Yeah. Someone in the ring is somewhere. I think we know. We know from other things in the DCU that it's probably on Guy Gardner right now. Right? If that's the one ring, right? Then okay. So John's not a Green Lantern, or at least he doesn't have a ring. But now he's in Nebraska all by himself without Hal. And I want to, and so,
wow, great point, Stan.
We haven't, so he's going to have to interact with the Macons, right? He has a deeper tie to them than Hal does, even, with the grandma. I saw his grandma.
Hey, let me tell you, I'm gonna hold that point because I got a comment about that. About that.
And I think it was interesting that what they set up with Hal too, in that when he's at the barbecue joint, all the people are taking pictures with him. Everybody knows who he is. They love him. Mm-hmm. He's definitely, there's a power dynamic there, and that like they recognize him. He's a celebrity, all that stuff. And then he goes to the Macon Ranch, and this dude is not, even though this guy is like pseudo respectful and fan and whatever, he is not at all intimidated by Hal, right? In the way that I think a lot of people are. So it's interesting to see that power dynamic play out too. Is this guy doesn't care about Hal? How much less is he going to think of John? If John's in that position to kind of take that up too. So it's just all these threads are open now, and I thought that they did a great job about that in the first episode. Is there's all these threads now that we got to see where it goes. Right.
I want to say something. I want to express my frustration with this episode. Mm-hmm. Here's my problem with this episode of television. While I like so much, Dan, I've ranted and raved about all of the things I like. Here's the thing I don't like, Dan. What the hell happened when these two people met in the bar and had sex in the car? What the hell was that? I'm just like, where did I remember? I was watching it. They're chit-chatting. We're looking at Aaron Pierre. You know what I'm saying? Just like the character in the story, right? I don't believe that happened. That took me out of the story. I just don't believe that.
Because of what?
Because one, it seemingly came out of nowhere. Like there was some chit chat, but I did not feel like this mutual sexual attraction tension happening here. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Also, I just felt in the way the characters presented like an age difference, like almost like a I don't know. It's like almost like a category difference. In a sense, I don't know how to put it exactly, but it just didn't seem like, oh, these two are having this sexual flirty. It seemed like almost like she seemed sketchy for sure. She seemed like something wasn't right. But then when they go in the car and like moments later they're having sex, I'm going like, wait, what, why, what's happening? Where did that come from? It seemed almost like, hey, we have to have this happen because later on in the episode, we need this moment.
Yeah.
We've got to make them have sex because now we need to create this issue for Jon Stewart. That threw me. That spun me.
It's always funny to me about where we are able to suspend disbelief in these kinds of shows and movies where we're like, a race of guardians that bestow magical rings to everybody. Like, that's cool. I buy that. This is fine. But wait, these two people hooking up? No, I don't buy that part. It's like, And you're right, because it does feel a little bit uncanny valley, in that it's like, well, there didn't seem to be any chemistry between the two of them. Here's how I could justify it, though. I could justify it by saying, Jon Stewart is young. I think we get the sense that he's youngish, and he's got a woman interested in him. It's like, maybe that's enough. And I think we might overlook that because it's like, this dude Aaron Pierre is a gorgeous man, right? So it's like, we overlook it to be like, this dude's probably pulling. But maybe not. Maybe he's a young guy, and this is a woman who said, "You want to follow me out to my truck?" And he's like, "All right." Right? And like, maybe that's
like,
that.
Even that you want to follow me out to my truck, I was kind of like, and he just seems like a savvy dude. I don't know. Something about the way Jon Stewart's been carrying himself, squinting at things, kind of looking over his shoulder, just kind of like surveying the land. He just seems like a sharp dude. Like, I'm not even going to say everything. And it's in light of all the stuff I just said about carrying yourself a certain way. But now that I'm thinking about it, the way he ran out onto that field and goes, "That's the bad guy," Hal was able to sit back and fold his arms and go, "That's not the move, Junior." You know?
Right.
And it seems
we do
like
have some evidence that he's a rookie.
Yeah, okay.
He's a young dude. Okay. So I think that's like, I don't think that came through well in the show, but I think we can justify it that way. I think we can rationalize it and say, I mean, he's, how old is he? Probably like 25,
20 something, I would assume 26, 7, okay. Something like that.
I think that's the way that you buy it, right? It's like, this is a 27-year-old dude.
Okay. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. I'm reaching for explanations.
It threw me off. I don't know. But, later on in the episode, when it's like, I think I might have had sex with, and he's like, and Hal's like, the grandma? It's like, is this supposed to be funny? Is it? What I'm assuming is this is supposed to be a trap that ensnares Jon Stewart later on. Yes. It's supposed to be a thing that trips him up in his ability to move forward. And sure, I'm willing to wait and see, like, how does this continue to develop itself? But that is something that kind of like knocked me out of the show as I was watching it for a second. And I was like, all right, okay, cool. I'll just let it keep going.
I mean, that would be my guess too, is that this is going to come back to haunt him because, and that she was at that bar for a very specific reason, and she was there on purpose, and she was there to ensnare him, and all that kind of stuff, so that they have this hold over the Green Lanterns, essentially. So to me, I like, if they wrote that in later, or if that shows up later, I'm like, yeah, I would buy that, and partially because of the history of the actors and the actresses. Like, every role that I've seen this woman in before, she is conniving and strategic, and she is a boss, and she does stuff like this. Though I've been thinking of Deli Boys, that she was in last. That's her character. So it's like, I wouldn't put past her that this is something that she might do, even though we don't know much about her character yet. But if you are the matriarch of a compound where people are training and been training for years, decades, if you are that role, and your counterpart knows that you're sleeping around, right? He's very clear about it. It's like, that might just be business as usual for them.
It seems like there's a cabal. There's you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be surprised if they were aliens, and how in his seasoned, grizzled, hard-nosed vet way is like, seems to be like, all right, I'll use this to get what I want, which is to sit down and talk to what he knows is the alien. That moment where he's interrogating the alien, I thought they did that really well.
I think so too. What did you think that was an alien?
I think they did a good job of not telling me, but here's what it did. It said, Octavius, we're not going to tell you. Here's my question to you. Do you trust Hal Jordan? And then they put the words into Jon Stewart's mouth. They say, and she's like, it must be hard to work with somebody you don't respect. He's like, I respect him. He's fearless. So even Jon Stewart is like, I don't like how he gets down, but I trust him. You know what I mean? So I don't know that I believe that it was an alien, but I believed in Hal Jordan. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to
Jordan more. Did you believe in Hal Jordan, or you believed in John believing in Hal Jordan?
I believed in Hal Jordan's, like, I think part of what the show was doing was going like, Hal's like, I don't care if anybody believes me. I'm right. I've been doing this a long time. I know what I'm doing. Over and over and over again. Oh, you don't want to be ensnared with them. Nah, I'm cool. Yo, that's not a real alien. Nah, yeah, it is. You don't want to get locked up. Watch me. You know what I'm saying? So they've been showing me over and over and over again, trust Hal Jordan. Like, listen to what he's saying. So in that moment, I don't know that Detective Newman, was like, oh, I know what's going on here. But I was like, he seems to. So I think I just believe in his belief at this moment.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I was with the sheriff. So because I think they did an interesting thing by being like, Sheriff and John are at odds, right? Because it's like they both have different beliefs about what's going on here. John is like, whatever Hal's doing, he's right. And the sheriff is like, no way. There's no way this dude is an alien. Right. And we don't know it yet about Hal. Is he right? Yeah. Is he just an arrogant dude who is overstepping his bounds? We don't know about him that he's right yet. So to me, I was like, I think both of them gave two voices to the audience. It's like, some of the audience probably were like, there's no way this dude's an alien. And some of the audience were like, maybe he is, but if Hal thinks he is, then he is. And I was definitely on the sheriff's side for a while, and so like I could see her like kind of vocalizing the stuff that I was thinking, at those moments, and just being like, no, there's no way, and then just shocked when the turn happens, when you're like, oh shoot, he was right.
Yeah.
He was right.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great scene.
I did connect with the sheriff on one point where she was like, he's not fearless, he's lonely, or something to that effect. And I was like, okay, that's an interesting observation. She's able to pick up on something and I think tell us, the audience, something like, hey, in case you guys didn't understand this about Hal Jordan, let me inform you, hey, yeah, he's a tough guy, but they made this point about him like not really having anybody, not having anything to kind of like, so you can give yourself all the way over to this. And I think we will find out a little bit more about why he's like that.
Can I ask you about some predictions?
Oh, I have predictions. I'm glad you see. Look at this. We're connected. Go ahead. Yes.
What do you think we'll find out about Hal? Do you think that we'll find out about Hal that he is? I'll overgeneralize here. Do you think we'll find out that he's kind of a bad guy, or do you think we'll find out that he's kind of a good guy?
I think we'll find out that Hal was broken. I think that
is about what? About what breaks him?
I think he lost somebody. This is purely just like, I think they told us Hal was one way. Now he's another way. Hal is jaded. Why don't you wear the suit? When you're younger, you're trying to like impress people. I don't need to impress nobody no more. Gives the ring away like nothing. Like something happened to him. You don't go from that to this. And I think something happened. And I think that is what the mystery is around. You know what I mean? There's something that took place. There's a reason why he's sitting in that seat. There's a reason why we find him back in that same place. And the thing that he knows is the thing that nobody else knows. And I think that's connected to what broke him and what changed him from how he was to how he is when we meet him in 2026.
You think we'll find
2016.
Out? Right. You think we'll find out that he and John's relationship matured from 2016 to 2026? Or do you think that will have separated or split?
Can I spin off this a little bit?
Go for it.
My big prediction.
Yeah, riff.
My big prediction right now about what we see in the future of this show is that this will be very similar to True Detective Season 3. Where True Detective Season 3, we saw two cops in two different time periods. The old, super old versions of them and the younger versions of them. And we kept jumping back and forth. So I think the way that Hal Jordan stays in this show is when we go back to 2016, John and Hal continue to work this thing together and continue to build this thing out. And then we will jump forward to 2026 to see how John by himself is continuing to build out and figure out what happened. Now, my super duper big prediction, I think there was a bullet hole in Hal Jordan's head. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I wonder, this is a huge jump. I don't know. I wonder if Jon Stewart shot him.
Oh.
I wonder if Jon Stewart, who in the comics we know is a sniper, a bullet hole in his head sitting right there, or did he shoot him? Did Dad shoot him so that he can become the Green Lantern? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I'm just brainstorming here. I think we're gonna jump back and forth 2016, 2026. And I think as we continue to work this case past Hal, we'll be kind of like feeding into like future John. That's my prediction.
I like it. I have a prediction. I like yours better. I like yours better than mine.
All right.
That's good. I didn't think about that. Because he's not the Green Lantern yet. And we know from his character that that's a thing that he's wanted from when he was a kid. Yeah. And especially if Dad's fueling that fire too. We got motive.
Right. Yeah. And we don't know who Dad is.
Right, exactly.
We don't know who Dad is.
Other than he shoots apples off of his kid's head. Like it's nothing.
Which is a little bit of character development right there that could tell us a little something about what type of tip Dad is on. You know what I mean?
Dad's a sharpshooter. We know that.
I'm just saying.
It feels like a Lindelof move. It feels like if it came full circle from like the first scene of the show. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, did Hal go bad in some sort of way? I don't. I'm torn. Do I like figuring things out? Dan, yes. But do I like trying to figure things out and still being shocked? I like being shocked more. I like the experience of trying to figure it out. And of course, you get that dopamine of like, I figured it out. But if I figure out an 8-episode show from episode 1, it's kind of like, it's kind of disappointing. All right, okay.
Right. It's like, do better, writers.
Like I'll take the dopamine of being right, but I'd rather be like, what happened? I'd prefer that,
Yeah.
What's your prediction?
I think we know from some of the teasers and things like that somehow salvation is tied into this show. The prison where they put Peacemaker at the end of Peacemaker season 2. My prediction is that it's somehow tied into Rick Flag Sr. and Luthor, maybe. I don't know. It feels a little bit far-fetched.
Okay,
but something around that. I've read some theories on the internet that Hal Jordan is investigating salvation, and that's the thing that gets him killed. I'm like, okay, that's interesting.
Okay,
because the context of I like looking at the context of all this stuff.
Okay,
James Gunn, when he took over the DCU, he said the phase that we're in is gods and monsters. Mm-hmm. That's where we are right now. That the You Are Here map is we're in gods and monsters. Mm-hmm. And I forget where I heard this, but all of that stuff is tied in. Salvation is tied in. What happens in Peacemaker is tied in. I think we know that Jon Stewart is in the next Superman movie. I think he's listed on the credits as being in that movie. So all of these things are tied in together. Peacemaker is tied into that. The Justice Gang showed up in Peacemaker. So all of that. So I'm like, I wonder how that stuff is going to show up here, if at all. Maybe it's going to be a light touch, but so far I think what we know is Guy Gardner's been in all of this stuff, and so I wonder how Guy Gardner's gonna. I wonder if Guy Gardner's going to be some of the thread in all of this, and then maybe, Guy Gardner's kind of a character that we don't know. Is he a bad guy or is he a good guy? He's kind of his own guy.
Yeah, he's kind of like in the comics, he's kind of like a maverick. Yeah. Kind of a like wild card kind of thing. Like I do it my own way kind of deal.
Right, exactly. And so he doesn't seem to be on the side of Superman until, or like the good guys until he is for a little while. But he also seems like he just kind of marches to his own beat. So this being a Lantern show, I wonder how much of a role he played. I mean, we know he shows up at some point. He's in here.
Yeah.
And we know that he is with Maxwell Lord, from the Peacemaker show, and like all of that stuff seems to tie together. So I wonder how much of that will play in here. That was my thought, was maybe Hal's death is tied to that, but I like your theory better.
John Stewart's dad shot Hal Jordan so that he can be the Green Lantern, but it went to Guy Gardner instead.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That'd be kind of wild, Yeah. But we shall see. I'm good on this. Do you want to give this a grade, Dan?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready
for episode 1. What do you got for episode 1 of Lanterns?
I give it an A. I think it's a great pilot. It checked the box big time of making me interested in the show. I want to watch the episode again. I want to see what happens next. I'm going to watch the next one right as it comes out. So I'm I think that's the job of a pilot, and I think job well done.
Agreed. It did its job. I'm in. I'm podcasting, talking, theorizing, Googling, all the things. But it earns an A- because I don't believe in that sex scene. Okay? That thing threw me off. Besides that, I was just like, oh, this is great. But the one thing that threw me out was just like, huh? What? But I mean, that's nitpicking. It's still an A. It's still an A. It's still a really great pilot episode. Still really, really good. And I'm excited to keep watching this. And I'm excited to keep talking to you about it, Dan.
Yeah, same. Likewise.
Yeah.
Curious to see how this progresses.
Yeah. Me too. So now is a great time again for you all to subscribe to Kra-Koom. If you want to keep hearing us theorize about Green Lanterns, Lanterns, subscribe to Kra-Koom at Kra-Koom on YouTube. Follow us on all the rest of the socials. Kra-Koom Media. You can find me. Octavius was here on all socials. And Dan, where are you?
Dan Mall on Twitter. danmall.com on the interwebs.
All right. That's it for this episode. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.